So, you've got a 2 PC setup and you want to stream to Twitch at 120 FPS without an expensive capture card. Well, thanks to NDI Scan Converter, you can. I'll show you how, and then I'll break your heart and tell you why you probably shouldn't. First up, you'll want to ensure that your gaming PC's monitor is running a 120Hz refresh rate or higher. Next, right-click the NDI Scan Converter icon in the toolbar. If you haven't installed the NDI toolkit or need a guide on how to use it with OBS in a 2 PC setup, check out EposVox's guide, which I will link in the description below. Back to Scan Converter. Go to the frame rate menu up top and change this from the default 60p to use monitor frame rate. And here's another hot little gamer tip for y'all. If you notice input lag when using Scan Converter, navigate to the capture settings, then toggle the mouse pointer off. Your stream viewers will no longer see your cursor, but you still can. And it should correct any delay you are feeling in-game while using NDI for a dual PC stream. Now, launch OBS on your streaming PC, where you have your scene set up to show gameplay via the NDI source we just configured. Open the settings menu. Under the output category, you'll want to swap from an X264 CPU encoder to an NVENC H264 GPU encoder if available. The vast majority of CPUs will not be able to encode 120 FPS gameplay without dropping frames during a live stream. If you're a Twitch affiliate, I also recommend bumping your bitrate up to about 7500 if you have the bandwidth. If you go past this, you will get errors for viewers trying to tune in. Even though Twitch says affiliates are capped at 6000, this will make a noticeable difference on the video quality of your 120 FPS stream. And you can feel free to copy the rest of the settings here as well. Next, head down to the Video tab. Select the Common FPS Values drop box and select Fractional FPS Values. Set your numerator to 120 and leave your denominator at 1. Apply these settings and voila! You'll now be streaming to Twitch in a buttery smooth 120 frames per second. Well, I just taught you how to stream in 120 FPS. Now I'm gonna tell you why you probably shouldn't. First things first, the majority of viewers on Twitch are on their phones or on regular old 60Hz monitors and TVs, which means they'll never even see your shiny new fluid action 120 FPS stream in anything but 60 frames a second. They won't. Next, due to the fact that you're outputting twice as many frames but only bumped up your bitrate by about 25%, your overall image quality will be reduced. And this will especially be apparent on elements of your stream that aren't gameplay, such as your face cam, your alerts, and overlays that have text. So there's going to be a reduction in sharpness, and there's going to be some blockiness and pixelation due to the bitrate limitations that you're bumping up against. So while the majority of viewers can't see an improvement, they will all be able to see the reduction in sharpness and detail on your stream. And one last point that I don't think should be overlooked is that because streaming in 120 FPS requires more bandwidth, it's also off-putting to new viewers of your stream, because if someone tunes in on their phone or on a device on Wi-Fi that maybe doesn't have the most stable, high-speed internet connection, they're going to have stuttering, they're going to have buffering, and those are two things that are massive setbacks for anybody sticking around in a stream when they don't feel personally connected to the streamer already. So you're sort of doing yourself a disservice, I feel like, if you're streaming in 120 FPS, because only a very small percentage of viewers on Twitch will actually see your stream in 120 FPS. Everyone else will just see a new, slightly blurrier stream. I came to these conclusions by playing an hour on 120 FPS on stream, and then an hour of 60 FPS on stream playing Quake Champions, a very fast-paced, action-oriented FPS title. I then reviewed the VODs from those two streams across all of my devices. So I watched them side by side on my 240Hz gaming monitor, I then watched them side by side on my 60Hz editing monitor, and then I also watched them one by one on my phone screen. And I have to say, on my phone and on my editing monitor, it straight up just looked worse. On my gaming monitor, there was certainly an improvement to the fluidity of gameplay, but there was also that same sort of Vaseline smear effect that you get from not enough bitrate at a given output level. So feel free to test it out yourselves now that you know how, but you could also just trust me. And instead of coming back and writing in the comments about how, you know, your new 120 FPS stream is so great and you have more viewers than Shroud, well, why don't you just come on by and tell me face to face, twitch.tv/TolkusTV. I'm live several days a week, and you can just shit talk me there, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to help you. Can't you see?